Godaigo doesn't die, though. Godaigo survives. He runs, and he regroups in the area around Kyoto and gathers some samurai to him, and with the aid of these samurai who are angry at the Ashikaga. There's always samurai angry at each other. You can always exploit these divisions between these clans. With these allies, he chases Takeuji out of Kyoto. One of these allies that Godaigo attracts is the very, very famous Kusunoki Masashige, whose reading, or a reading about whom you have for this week. Fascinating figure, supposedly very effective as a military leader, also famously loyal to Godaigo, somebody who dies for Godaigo essentially, and as a result of this loyalty he is elevated to a symbol of what a ideal samurai should be, at least in the eyes of the imperial family, who likes this guy because he supported Godaigo. And this legend of Kusunoki Masashige then becomes useful to later Japanese rulers, the later imperial family in the 19th century and up until 1945, when Kusunoki Masashige is viewed as a loyal military servant of the emperor, like all of you people should be, by the way. This is the Meiji Emperor and then later the Taisho and Showa emperors talking to their subjects, who they were trying to basically to turn into a modern nation with the idea of one guy on top, and that guy is surely the emperor. So he becomes useful as a symbol, but in the course of events during the 14th century, he's someone who can defeat the Ashikaga, but who is ultimately unable to ensure final victory for Godaigo, for his master. Takeuji is defeated, but he's not killed. He runs to Kyushu this time, returns in 1336 with a huge army. And many of these people veteran, well, some of these people, well, maybe not any actually, this is 50 years after the last Mongol invasion, maybe none of them are veterans of the Mongol invasion, but at least people from warrior houses who have a tradition of military success, feared Kyushu warriors. A large army returns in 1336, Ashikaga does, and defeats Kusunoki at the Battle of Minatogawa. Kusunoki is killed, and Takeuji creates a new puppet emperor, but Godaigo still doesn't die. He's one of these people who just keeps bouncing back. He doesn't die. He runs south to Yoshino, near Nara, which is a very mountainous place. It's very easy to defend, and sets up a rival court in a temple. It says, "I'm still emperor. I was never removed from office, not even once." And this ushers in the so-called Nanbokcho, the period of the northern and southern courts. I mean, that's a very awkward English translation, but it's also what that word means. It's the period of the northern and southern courts, where you have a northern imperial court in Kyoto controlled by the Ashikaga clan, and then you have a relatively independent southern dynasty in Nara, in Yoshino, near Nara, and these sides keep fighting each other. Sometimes one has the advantage, sometimes the other one has the advantage. We'll see how this is resolved in the next lecture, but I think it's important to know that what this means for Japanese politics is that the imperial families and the samurai exploit each other. They've become dependent on each other for political power. They're separate. They're separate institutions, despite Godaigo's efforts to basically subjugate the samurai. But they remain in this kind of stable opposition to each other. Even the southern court, which claims to be superior and to be independent, is very much dependent on powerful retainers who they attract by virtue of the fact that samurai always have a reason to be angry at their masters, or to be angry at their neighbors, or just find some reason to join a war expecting rewards. And there was a war going on. So samurai flocked to the southern court, they flocked to the northern court, they changed sides several times, some of them did, and we'll see how that played out, actually not in the next lecture, in lecture 8, but we'll definitely see how this situation eventually was resolved. And during the next lecture, you will have an opportunity to examine for yourselves primary evidence. Evidence basically from the medieval period of Japanese history, visual evidence, 2 very rich picture scrolls, and I want you to really engage with these materials through 2 digital exhibits, so please look forward to that. Thank you very much.